All right, these gentlemen are making their way to Ann Arbor, headlining the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase in Michigan, Thursday through Saturday, September 20th through 22nd. Go to aacomedy.com for tickets. Check them out also on the History of Comedy series on CNN, the Roast Battle on Comedy Central, and their View from the Cheap Seats podcast, the Sklar brothers, Randy and Jason. Good to see you guys.
Thank you. So good to be here on your show.
You know what? I want to start with this one. You could have knocked me over with the feather seeing you guys in Better Call Saul last season.
That was so fun. I mean because audition not for brothers, just two guys who owned a music store, and we came in and we saw like all of our friends who are really great actors, comedians, and people, and
we loved the show. Like I almost didn't want to book the part because I didn't want to screw up on my favorite show. Like it
takes you out of it just seeing yourself in that whole thing. But shot so cool. I mean, the way they shoot that show, they're just like rehearse. And Odenkirk is someone that we've known from the comedy scene since the 90s.
What, him and David Cross, right?
David Cross, Mr. Show, and just that whole sort of Largo, Los Angeles group of like alternative comedians and whatnot. We knew him. And he was really happy that we were there and just great to hang out with him. We'd just be rehearsing with him in the spot where we were, and all of a sudden the camera is like up in the ceiling, kind of shooting from down here. And it just felt like we're talking right here. Like there were no cameras around us. They said, go, run it a couple times. And in those couple of times, they shot it. It was amazing. So it was like the most natural way to shoot something.
It's great.
How about that?
It's an amazing set.
And it's in Albuquerque. You shoot in Albuquerque. And I got there and I immediately was like Hakeem Olajuwon in the NCAA championship game. I was like on the sidelines getting oxygen. It's 5,200 feet.
That's what you did. Oh, I see what you meant. I was trying to see what you were going with.
What Hakeem Olajuwon did during.
I appreciate you going sports reference.
And I kind of laid an egg a little bit.
No, that's okay. Dennis Hopper Blue Velvet is more of a good sort of like inhaling oxygen.
Was that an Albuquerque thing? Yeah.
No. That had nothing to do with
That was just a David Lynch thing.
Yeah, it's just a David Lynch thing. Yeah, it has to do with like,
and also explaining to people how they should not look at him.
Yeah.
That was in real life.
That was in real life. That's a real life thing. Yes, you don't want to do that.
Yes.
Did you ever see Blue Velvet, Chris, or that's going completely over your head?
No idea.
Okay.
Amazing.
I thought the blue, you were going meth. That's
no. That's just
blue meth.
That's where I can
Eisen.
That was really fun to do.
What in the world's happened to your Cardinals, guys? They are on fire right now, huh?
I went to the game the other night, and I was there, and we were down 1-0. Flaherty is pitching great. He's actually throwing a no-hitter. Then Jock Peterson hits one out, and I thought, Jew. Congratulations.
You have to throw that in there.
Throw it out there.
Every once in a while, we get one.
Yeah, I know. We had Jeff Schwartz here in studio.
Nice.
And we had him sign the book of Great Jews in Sports book that we have here.
Get them to sign it.
That's amazing. We should sign it too, although we're kind of tangential.
Really in sports.
You hosted a sports show back in the day.
We did. We had cheap seats. A lot of people don't know this. Terrell Owens.
Jewish.
Just kidding. I mean,
that would have been great.
But
as a matter of fact, that's why he didn't go to the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
He's complaining about the portions.
It was on Shabbat too. He could not do it.
He does not get enshrined on Shabbos.
No. By the way, that was one you should go to. I get working out in your driveway. I get not showing up to OTAs. That's one you want to go to.
Yeah, you can line up as many guys behind you in Century 21 jackets and make it look like they're also going in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Go. Like, you know how like at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony they show pictures of you during your playing days. Have a picture of the X-ray of the broken leg he played on during the Super Bowl.
Yes.
There. Remind everyone how great you are in front of everybody.
I thought we might talk about Terrell Owens today. I just did not think that the through line would be
that he's
Jock
Jewish.
Peterson is Jewish, and you watched him at a home run against your Cardinals.
So I watched him at the home run, and I thought to myself, in years past, Cardinals would have folded.
Earlier this year
they would have folded, but they came back and hit that dinger off of Kenley Jansen. I was amazed. And
who puts a guy in whose daughter was who's born that day?
Yeah,
you can't throw that guy in the game.
Right.
You let
too
that
much
guy
to think
sit.
The Cardinals are like, and I say this with like a Yankee fan, where I understand that the Yankees are viewed as the old U.S. Steel.
Yeah.
Cardinals are like the Packers, where they are always.
Or the Spurs. They're like the Spurs.
They're always in it. They're always in it. They always have somebody that you put on another team.
Yeah.
Might not be, although Piscotty's kind of
Piscotty's been
is an outlier. Like he's now on Oakland right now.
On the A's. And the A's are doing great.
Always in it.
And so that's all you want as a fan base, is to have your team be in it at this time of year. Now, we may not make the playoffs. We're leading the wild card right now, but as the fans in St. Louis, I was just back in St. Louis, they're excited because you've got something to be interested in. That's why I actually love the wild card in baseball right now, because there are so many teams that are still in it. Milwaukee fans are still excited about it. Colorado fans are still excited.
Well,
So
Dodger fans
they
are
have a lot,
slowly like, why do we pay all this money for Machado? So
That's right. Philly fan. Well, I mean, everybody's.
Everyone has a
basically-
shot.
I feel like Philly fans, you can be excited about this, but you won the Super Bowl. You won the Super Bowl, so you can't complain about anything. If you're a Philly sports fan,
no.
you won the Super Bowl. You
Come on.
can't complain about anything.
No, Sklar brothers here on the Rich Eisen show. No. The sports to me is like the Gordon Gekko. Greed is good.
Greed is great. Once you get one, you want more. And Philly fans.
Philly fans.
Hey, Philly fans. Hey, go down to the Wawa on 5th and Locust and grab me a water ice.
Go down here.
Phillies are in the
We're from Mount
playoffs.
Laurel. We're from Cherry Hill.
Go on out there.
We swallowed so many
Cole
L's.
Hamels
Doug
was my
Peterson
favorite
looks like
Philly
a fat
guy.
John Hamm. Doug Peterson does look like a fat John Hamm. Does he not look like fat John Hamm?
Yeah.
John Hamm on prednisone.
John Hamm on Jerry Lewis's medicine.
That's right.
Doug Peterson looks like
A fat John
a
Hamm.
fat John Hamm.
I want you to look at Doug Peterson on the sideline the next time and just be like, John Hamm's character work is amazing.
Right.
He's unbelievable.
And it is.
Well, we had Doug Peterson. We had the fat John Hamm on earlier.
There you go. Fat John Hamm.
And
Look at that picture of him right there. Is he
well, there's this book, Fearless. Let's take a
I'm
look.
going to tweet
Describe-
out a side by side.
Fat John Hamm? Do a side by
I'm doing a
side.
side by side.
Side by side.
So it's like if you zipped up, sort of like a Men in Black skin suit,
Right.
over John Hamm. I don't know if I
They
found
did
that
an
one, guys.
episode of like Mad Men in the late 80s.
You know what I mean? Like he had a little too much.
There he is. He did really well for himself.
I mean, he was working hard on the book last night because
Yeah.
the Eagles weren't doing anything last night.
Yeah, 5-0.
5-zip.
Okay.
Well, hold on a second. I want to take a break because I know where you're going to go with this
Yeah,
one. You say
let's
you've
do it.
got a great Baker Mayfield take.
Yes, that's
I would like to.
It's a Taker Mayfield. We'll see what we can do.
Taker
with it.
Mayfield. I like hearing that. And I do want to hit with you because I know you're Ann Arbor people, you're Michigan people.
Let's get
and
into
if
it.
you're
Talk about
hearing the same thing as me, is that if you say anything about what's going on at Ohio State, you're just a bitter
homer.
You're a bitter, burnt Michigan.
We'll tell
fan.
you how to combat that.
Okay.
On the other
All
side.
right.
Of this
Back
break.
in 60 seconds with the Sklar brothers here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. View from the Cheap Seats podcast. Check it out. I'm going to be on next week, correct?
You will be on our guest. It drops next Friday.
You had Richard Simmons on recently?
Richardson, we had him on a while ago, and then we replayed it just because
Oh,
we
okay.
missed the guy. I mean, he's,
I was about to say,
he's disappeared.
right?
He's under the control of his maid. Apparently,
That's what I'm. Okay. So I just
So was Schwarzenegger, by the way. So was
By the way, so
Schwarzenegger.
was the
Wow.
You beat me. I was going to say so was the entire Brady bunch. But Schwarzenegger is funnier.
All right, and you're back in Ann Arbor headlining the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase.
Yep.
Thursday through Saturday, September 20 through 22nd. That's the weekend they play who?
Nebraska.
Okay. That's a big one.
Huge game. Scott Frost is going to surprise people this year.
Hey, Scott Frost is a terrific coach. We've seen what he did at UCF.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming home. I think Nebraska fans are viewing him in the same way that Michigan fans are viewing Jim Harbaugh a few years ago. Like the
absolutely.
only guy that could come in and knows the program that everyone can rally around
That's
as a
right.
fan base and believe
right.
that there's some good times ahead.
We've done some stuff in Omaha and been around Nebraska fans, and they're a proud. You got to live up to the behemoth that it was Tom Osborne, but they love their football program and they want to bring it back to prominence. Now, Wisconsin kind of has a stranglehold on the West. There's no way anybody's going to unseat them now, but in a couple of years, it could be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in the same way that Scott Frost was the quarterback for Osborne, I mean, Harbaugh was the quarterback for Bo.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, there's a lot of a through line right there.
Really similar story.
And this is the year for Harbaugh to really make the mark. I feel like everybody, Michigan, inside and outside of Michigan, is like, this is it. You got to do it this year.
And then your St. Louis, Nebraska connection is Kurt Warner's son, Cade, is a walk-on there.
Is he really?
Yeah, he scored in the spring game.
Did he really?
He did.
There you go.
Cade Warner.
Nice.
There you go.
As a wide
He
receiver.
should bag groceries like his dad did, and then boom, he'll make it.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Should get a
I don't know
job
if-
bagging groceries. And
I think that's an interesting suggestion for him to try.
you
to
should
succeed.
bag. Next time you see Kurt Warner, your son should bag groceries like you did. I'm sure he would appreciate
Yeah,
that.
paper or plastic. That's
Can't go plastic anymore. It's
Give me your own. That's what people say now.
Right.
Give me what you brought.
bring your own NPR tote bag.
So, are you hearing from people saying that you're not allowed to criticize Ohio State because
we're hearing that you're not allowed to criticize the process. You're not allowed to criticize Ohio State. You're hearing Urban Meyer didn't do anything wrong personally, so he lied to the media. Who cares?
I mean, we're hearing most of that from Ezekiel Elliott's dad.
Yeah, that's weird
So
that he's
that's just
texting us.
Yeah, weird,
It's like,
strange.
you don't need that.
But as Michigan fans, I think
The big thing that people say is you as Michigan fans want to see Urban get taken down. You're sad that he wasn't fired. And Michigan fans, to a person that we've talked to, don't feel that way.
No,
because they feel like if he goes out, then we're going to get, and if we win this year by some chance.
it's like when we beat Luke Fickell the last time Michigan beat
you don't
Ohio
want to
State.
get fickled into a victory.
Don't want to get fickled.
Right?
Never.
A fickle victory is a hollow win. It's just slightly what. Look, they've got all the talent in the world, Ohio State, and Urban's going to come back after 3 games that don't matter at all. Why wouldn't you hold him
One
out?
game, really, because he's coaching all week during the other weeks.
The only worst thing than getting fickled would be getting Shiano'd, I think.
You don't want to get Shiano.
Definitely don't want to get
Or
Shiano.
Dade, right? That's who they would be. That's who they went with.
You would get Dade. You would get Dade, but Wilson.
But I agree with you. I mean, you want to
beat the best if he is.
Is it
the
weird that like kids sold the shoes that they got in North Carolina and they got 4 games?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
What is Jim Tressel saying right now?
Jim Tressel's like, I let some kids sell some pants and I lost my job.
How about Gurley? How many games did Gurley get set for
AJ Green too.
AJ Green. So I mean, I just think you're sending a terrible message. So now, Urban Meyer, you're going to come back. You can never say to your players that I'm going to teach you how to be men. I'm going to mold you from high school.
Wouldn't it have been better if Ohio State just came out and said, look, we did these findings. We found all this stuff.
We like
Here's
winning.
the deal. We love winning.
We love winning.
That's just it. We're good at it. He's a great coach.
He's a great coach. He's the next best coach next to Nick Saban. We want to win. Therefore, we place winning above everything else at this university.
And that's just a fact. Deal with it. If you don't like it, you won't like it.
How many games did Des get for having dinner with Dion?
Like 10, I think.
What?
Unbelievable.
He played the first couple. They had a ruling, and then he was out the rest of the year.
Unbelievable.
I mean, let's talk
crazy.
about what we're talking about here. It's like, again, it's like maybe you didn't know some stuff, but you knew what he did in 2009. You knew what the guy did in 2015. There were other reports. If you are a coach who doesn't know what your assistant coaches are doing on a regular basis,
The only thing I
you're
believe,
doing a bad job as a coach.
The only thing I believe is that he was taking medication that messed with his memory.
I mean that.
I believe
one,
that.
By
That
the way,
one.
now that for comedians like you,
That's
the Sklar brothers,
genius.
that is like a gift, right?
the magic pill, literally.
Yeah, it is the magic pill. He swallowed the magic pill.
Yes.
Made me forget about all the stuff that I mean, to me, that is like a coach's version of Shaggy's It Wasn't Me. You see me with this other girl right over here.
Shaggy, what's your excuse?
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
I took medication. I just don't even remember being
I don't
there.
even remember.
It's the like life version of my Twitter feed got hacked. No, it didn't.
No, you didn't. It didn't.
Didn't get
So,
hacked.
take
well, in the
responsibility.
case of my one time, it actually did get hacked.
Well, yours got
That's
hacked.
the problem.
It happens
An
once.
idiot buddy of mine at my poker table grabbed my phone
it's
when I
a
got
big
up.
deal.
So
Gotta watch out.
That's a ridiculous.
All right, so you
I
wanna-
was hacked. What are you looking at me like that for? It's
I
true.
just really like that story.
I know you
It's a
love
great
that
story.
I like
You
that
want our
story.
Baker Mayfield take?
Yes, the Sklar brothers here at Sklar Brothers on Twitter. What's your Baker Mayfield take? Yes.
I think now you never know how serious this pinky injury is for Tyrod Taylor. Who knows? I mean, and if he's making decisions like he did in that game yesterday, he might get out, but we might see Baker Mayfield sooner. Baker Mayfield is like he to me is the guy who shows up at a party with a 6-pack of Zima. He walks in and you're like, well, this is a bad idea.
What is?
Well, why are we doing this? And then you start to drink it a little bit and you're like, it's better than I thought it would be.
I'm buzzed right now.
I did not expect it's unconventional. There's nothing about this that said we should have done this. And you drink it and you say, you know what? I'm feeling good.
Party's really fun.
Party's really
I'm
fun.
glad he came.
I'm happy. It's better than the party was last year.
the clear beer of quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield.
The clear
He's
beer.
The guy who brings the clear beer. And
I love him. I actually have loved what I've seen of him so far.
Did you hear what Jay Glazer said on the pregame show?
No.
last
What
night?
did he say? Did he say it while he was texting?
He did not say it while he was texting.
Okay.
But Mike Del Tufo, you had to have heard it because you mic'd him up for the last night's
I
game.
didn't mic him up. I was mixing it to New York.
Oh, pardon,
right, so what did he say?
pardon me.
What did he-
You're part of the
Excuse
mixing
me.
process.
Guy-
But I heard it clearer because of you mixed him properly.
That's the
Thank
way.
you.
How about that?
See,
Is that
I
right?
like that. That's a compliment.
good.
Rich.
He said that the way that he has been playing, the way that he sometimes throws coming off the edge, the way that he performs,
Yep.
is a way that he's not seen somebody drafted first overall perform in 26 years of doing this,
So I think that's great.
is what he said.
But
And
both of us also think the Browns screwed up and should have taken Saquon Barkley first. And
They still
because
would have gotten Mayfield.
You still would have gotten Mayfield at 4. There is no way Mayfield sticks around because the Jets would have gotten Darnold. I just see him at 4.
I don't know. I think if Barkley was gone, if Barkley was gone, the Giants would have traded out and somebody would have come in for a quarterback, or the Giants would have taken the quarterback. And it would have been Darnold, and then the Jets would have hopped on Mayfield.
You think so?
I do believe so.
That's possible.
I do believe so. I don't think but that's why I said if we're going to really go down this road here, that the Browns should have popped up from 4, told the Giants, we know you don't want to take anybody other than Saquon.
Yeah.
We're taking him.
Right.
All right. And you want to go out of 2, and you don't want to go so far.
Right.
And the Jets aren't going to be the ones going anywhere from 3.
Take our
and you
4.
don't want to make a
Get our quarterback.
Here's the 4, and it'll be better than any deal that you get from somebody
It's
else.
the highest pick you'll have.
Because you're going to go to the 4.
The 4 and not
and then
jumping
go 1, 2, rip the knob off, and get
agree.
whoever the hell you want. Get them both.
Get Saquon and get Mayfield if that's who you want.
Right, and get them both.
I think.
And they stayed 1-4, and then they took Denzel Ward, who got hurt.
Right.
So that to me,
They could have taken Denzel Washington.
but there's still
Would have been better. Jay met Denzel Washington. Has he ever been on the show? You got to get Denzel on the show.
Denzel has been on the show on the phone. He has
I
not
was
been
in a store. I had to go to the bathroom. I was on the phone with a friend from Michigan. I had to pee. Go into this store. Come out of into the shop. No one's there, but the shopkeeper and Denzel Washington.
Which is like the greatest moment.
And like tons of TMs, like paparazzi.
You can go online, by the way.
See it on
Brockman,
YouTube.
See it on YouTube. Jason Sklar talking to
I'm wearing
Denzel.
I'm wearing a Weist mode shirt. Diane Weist face. Weist mode.
Going Weist mode. So when
She's passive aggressive in a scene, she goes Weist mode.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm sitting here, and he likes my shirt. We start talking, and I'm talking to him, and he knew our show, Cheap Seats, a little bit, but he couldn't remember my name. And he goes, "What's you and your brother's name?" And I was like, "We're the Sklar brothers." And he just looks at me, and he's like, "The Sklar brothers."
The
Sklar. He like added a syllable to my name.
all right.
I'm like, I think that's what it is now. I can't argue with that.
Sklar brothers.
Talk about like a magnetic dude who you just get it in like 1 second. You're like, I understand everything
Completely.
He's like a gigantic superstar, and you just get it. Like
So the Browns should have taken him instead of Denzel Ward.
Well, certainly if Denzel Ward isn't going to be playing anytime soon.
I mean,
it was an odd choice, didn't you think?
Yeah, but
came up in the draft, and you're saying to yourself, "What?"
But they are. I said it before. I will say it again. It's
T-shirt you're wearing is amazing.
Weist mode.
Weist mode.
Weist mode. Full on Weist mode. Yeah, I mean, so you said it before. You said it again.
They've got playmakers all over the spot, all over the lot, all over the field. They're great.
I agree.
In terms of talent.
Let's see
They
where-
have some of the most talented players in the NFL on the same roster, and it's possible they have Des Bryant in the house by the end of training
he walked out
camp.
without a contract.
I don't know what's going
was
on.
that?
I don't know. I don't know.
What was that? I mean, yeah. I mean, he's a decent third option.
Are you watching Hard Knocks?
Yeah,
a
Did
little
you see
bit.
Bob Wiley, that guy who looks like Wilford Brimley, had a love child with Duff?
I've always said this about
You know,
Wilford Brimley. I've
with
always said
Tiger's
this.
caddy.
I've always said this. Wilford Brimley, Craig Stadler, Mike Holmgren, and Andy Reid. Never seen the 4 of those guys in a room together.
They are the same
dude.
guy.
Same dude.
Same guy.
They won't get old, and they won't ever die.
That's right.
It's a cocoon line.
Andy, well, of course. No, I got that.
He knows.
Good to see you guys.
Nice
Great to see you.
AAComedy.com to check out these guys in Ann Arbor if you're in the Michigan area, and check out CNN's History of Comedy series, part of season 2, History of Comedy series on CNN. Roast Battle Comedy Central, View from the Cheap Seats podcast, Dumb People Town, True Crime podcast.
All
My
good,
gosh,
man.
You guys are all good in the hood.
I love
and then
it.
I'll be on your pod next week.
Next week, the Eisen episode drops.
That drops, if you will. All right. Thanks for coming on here,
yeah,
guys.
thanks for having us.
You got it. The Sklar brothers here on The Rich Eisen Show. We'll let you know how we're rolling next week and how we're wrapping up this show in a moment.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.